Welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. I wanted to talk about a few things. I was sitting with a buddy of mine that had came in for 1 month, sitting with him down at Leo's bar, or the bar behind me. And he did the typical thing, you know. He came here, he had a great time, there's no doubt about it. Spent a lot of money for sure. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. The last 3 weeks have really been rough on me. Unfortunately, I ended up getting the flu or something like that. I do feel a lot better now. If you see me out on the street, okay, doing a video or whatever, it doesn't matter. I want you to come up, interrupt me, whatever. I can edit it, okay, and let me know that you subscribe or that you view. I'm sitting out here at Pattaya Beer Garden, and I had a fellow subscriber named Doug that contacted me, and he's here, and I'd like to introduce you to him. So this is Doug. Doug's out of Kansas, and he has a Thai wife. He's already retired, but they're looking at possibly permanently moving to Thailand. And anyway, welcome, Doug.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
glad to meet you.
Yeah, me too.
And
Appreciate it.
anyway, I'm hoping to see more of you. And,
Me too. Yeah.
So again, I was sitting down at Leo's, and that's in the bar, the Park Beach condominium building that's directly behind me. And I'll put a link in the description below if you're interested. You can check that out. Come on over, have a drink with us. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee or a beer, there's also a link in the description below for that. All right, so my friend Brett and me are sitting down at Leo's bar. Brett tells me that, you know, he's at the end of his visit here in Pattaya, Thailand, and he doesn't want to leave. All right, he loves it here. He feels like this is the place he wants to be. I told him, I said, you know, Brett, if you decide this is the place for you, then you need to come here and give it a visit for maybe 6 months or something like that. And then if you really know it's the right place for you, then after you've tested the waters and that sort of thing, then you can go back and start taking care of what you've left behind. Don't just jump in here without testing the waters. And he's getting ready to jump in here over the worst trap that can ever happen to a single guy coming to Pattaya, Thailand. All right, so I'm going to get to that. I know you've already guessed it. All right, but he told me he met a girl, and she's different. How many times have I heard that before? So this is the typical love story that you hear about, that guys 50 plus come over here and they meet this beautiful girl that is probably half their age, and this girl just falls in love with him, you know, and gives him all the attention, pushes his buttons in the right direction, and captures his heart. Is love worth following? Well, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. All right, but you have to be smart about it and understand where you're at. Brett went on to tell me a story. Okay, he met this girl on Soy 6 at one of the bars. The girl had only been working in the bar for 2 days, and Brett was the girl's very first bar find. She didn't have any experience working in a bar, and her mother was sick up in Isan, and she had an older brother that was an alcoholic, and he couldn't keep a job, and the father was working, I don't know, the rice fields or something like that, and she also has a younger sister that's in school. The family needs money. Okay, the family doesn't know that she's working in a bar. So over the last 2 weeks, Brett's been with this girl every night. And she's already telling him every morning that she loves him and she can't imagine life without him, and just treating him like the king he is. All right, and he's loving it. I mean, he really is loving it. Brett, he doesn't want her to even work in this bar anymore. Brett tells me that she doesn't like working in the bar. She doesn't want to be that type of a girl. Okay, and she only started drinking since she's been in the bar. Brett has showed me several pictures of his girlfriend. Okay, and she is lovely, absolutely. She has all the standard tattoos on her back, and she even, it looks like she has one on her chest, and so there's clues, kind of red flags for me, saying that maybe she's worked in a bar longer than what she actually has. But Brett doesn't see that because this is his first visit to Pattaya. Okay. Anyway, so Brett's considering buying her out of the bar right now. And I think he's already talked to the manager or the mama-san, whoever runs the place up there. And the fee that they're looking at is 20,000 baht, which is about $600, to buy her completely free of the bar, and then she can go home and take care of her family, and Brett will send her money, whether it be weekly or every month, and then he'll come back in whatever period of time, and they can figure out their future better. So that's Brett's plan. He asked me what I thought about it. Well, you know what I think about it. But anyway, it was just, you know what it did? It reminded me of my story. Okay, it reminded me of my story. My story with Nikki. So here's the brief scenario of what happened with me. Okay, like I say, I'm not a stranger to anything here, and I feel like I've done it all. But I'm still learning every day while I'm here, and I'm just fortunate to have all these life experiences. All right, so what ended up happening was I met Nikki back in 2012, and she was a bar girl. Okay, and she'd only been working bar for, I want to say it was 4 months, but she hadn't been with very many men, and in my mind, Nikki was different. All my friends were telling me, Tom, stop, pause. They were raising the flag. But I feel like any guy that's in that same position now is walking around with blinders on. They're only looking straight forward. They're looking at this beautiful woman, and that's all they can see. And their ears are blocked off. They can't hear their friends. And I can remember my friends saying, "Don't do it, don't do it." All right, but she was different. So basically what ended up happening with me and Nikki is I fell in love with her. Okay, we made plans for her eventually coming to the USA. We made plans to take care of her family, and we had made plans to finally come back here and retire at a certain point in time in our lives. Of course, she wanted to buy land, okay, and do something permanent for her family. So what we basically did is we ended up buying a piece of land in her name, okay, and of course I had this 30-year lease on that property. Then we ended up building a house, and we put the house book in her name, okay. Now, did I ever tell you that she was different? Well, I thought she was anyway, and I was in love, and I thought she loved me. All right. So anyway, we agreed on a certain amount of money that that I would give her every month, but she needed more than that. Okay, she needed to be able to take care of her grandmother, for instance, and her children, and her father, and other people. Okay, and all of a sudden that all became my responsibility. But you have to remember, I'm sitting there with these blinders on. Okay, I'm not listening to anybody. Okay, people that have had previous experience in this scenario, I'm not listening to them. I'm just looking straight ahead at this beautiful woman that I'm planning on marrying. All right, so yeah, I was really being sucked in. Of course, not only that, we ended up buying a car, and we bought motorbikes, and of course all that was in her name. Well, yeah, it just makes it so much easier, you know. So I ended up taking Nikki back to the USA. I ended up marrying her. We built a very successful business together. We traveled all over the USA. A chance came for us to buy an existing restaurant. We bought it and renovated it, turned it into a successful bar, and we had spent several months and in Thailand, and Nikki felt like it was that she needed to be at the business, okay, instead of returning to the USA with me. So basically, Nikki had talked me into returning to the USA to finish my business, maybe close up shop, and return to Thailand. I ended up agreeing to that. The very first day I'm back in the U.S., I get a phone call from a very close friend, and they told me, Tom, you need to return to Thailand now. Okay, I'm like, what? And they said, well, Nikki was bar fined last night by a customer. What? You know, of course, I'm calling her up and this, that, and the other, and I'm not asking her if she got bar fined, but you know, she's not available to talk to me. And I'm like, it's like, she's different. Okay. Now, long story short, I hired a private eye, and I ended up coming back to Thailand, and we were together altogether 8 years, but we're divorced now. So is this going to happen to everybody? No, it's absolutely not. There's plenty of girls here that guys come and fall in love with, and it's a happily ever after story. There's no doubt about it. There are plenty of success stories with relationship and love in Pattaya, Thailand. There's no doubt about it. And but you have to be careful, okay, and really do your research well, and try to find the perfect person. And I'm telling you guys, and girls out there, the perfect person, the good girl, okay, you're not normally going to find them in a bar, all right? The odds are really stacked against you, okay? And as much as I like to go to bars and everything, I'm probably not a good role model for that, okay? But if you're looking for a good girl, it has to be a non-bar, or it has to be a girl that's not associated with any bar in any way, okay? Or go-go, or works in a nightclub or anything like that here in Pattaya, Thailand, okay? And there are plenty of them, all right? There's plenty of them. There are plenty of people here that do not work, okay, in bars and go-go's in Thailand. So anyway, there's people here for you to meet. Okay, there's absolutely no doubt about it. And if you come here to fall in love, you have a very good chance of doing that. You just have to be careful, and that's the main thing. I try to keep a sense of humor about it, and I wish Brett well. He has 2 more nights, I think, left here in Pattaya, and he feels like he's the happiest man in the world right now, and I want him to be happy. There's no doubt about it. I hate to be that person to set him down and run him through all the red flags that's going on in his life. I wish he would have read a book like Private Dancer or Money Number One. We tell everybody that comes here to read those books, and I'll put a link in the description below for those books. But you definitely, if you're coming here and really want to be prepared for Pattaya, Thailand, or Bangkok, or Phuket, or any of the major tourist towns in Thailand, you need to know this information. It's protecting yourself. You're taking care of yourself, all right? If you haven't given me a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. There's a subscribe button there. Hit that, and there's a bell over there as well that lets you know when the next video is coming out. I appreciate you being with me, and I'll see you next video. All right, bye.